Welcome to our Weather Impact Report, where we take a look at the top weather stories here in Georgia and around the nation. I'm meteorologist Danielle Moss. This week's weather took us coast to coast with very different impacts in very different places. But first, we start here at home. Months after an EF1 tornado ripped through Henry County home, actor Trey Chaney and his son Malachi are working on a documentary. The tornado happened back in May in Locust Grove and decimated their home, leaving Malachi critically hurt and in ICU for weeks. He was thrown 100 yards from when the tornado touched down. He suffered broken ribs, a fractured facial bone, and a punctured lung. According to Deadline, the documentary is called Reborn by the Storm and focuses on their ordeal in the aftermath of the tornado. According to that report, they plan to start screening for the film next May, which will mark 1 year since the tornado. As we race to the finish line for 2025, we remember one of the year's most devastating natural disasters. It all started in the overnight hours on July 4th when heavy rains caused the Guadalupe River to rise at a dangerous pace. NBC's Al Roker looks back at what deadly tragedy it was and some of the heroes who responded.
In Texas Hill Country, many knew a storm was coming, but no one could possibly imagine a disaster like this. In the early morning hours of July 4th, the skies opened up and the deluge began. 4 months worth of rain falling in just a few hours, overwhelming the banks of the Guadalupe River, rising more than 30 feet in Kerrville and fast.
To have a river that's at 3 feet deep go to 32 feet in 1 hour. That's like a tsunami. That's like a dam break. That's almost like a storm surge from a hurricane.
All along the riverbanks, homes, RVs, and campsites full of people asleep, unaware of the nightmare unfolding outside.
It was apocalyptic.
One of the area's hardest hit, Camp Mystic, a girls' summer camp along the river. With power out and phones forbidden under camp rules, survivors say they awoke to cabins already flooding and teenage counselors doing everything they could to get themselves and their young charges to higher ground.
My daughter grabbed onto a tree. One by one, those girls came out and found anything they could cling to.
The water line in what's left of some of those cabins shows just how the floodwaters rose. 25 young campers and 2 of their counselors losing their lives.
Seal would be in 3rd grade right now. But instead, she is lost in the Guadalupe River.
Seal Stewart is one of the 2 flooding victims still missing.
Every phone call, every text, your heart stops because you hope it's news that they've found your child.
More than 130 people died across 6 Texas counties. But amid the utter devastation, the helpers, the heroes.
She was up in this tree, way up there, 35 feet.
Like the Centerpoint volunteer firefighters who rescued this woman left clinging to a tree for hours after her car was washed away. Or the owner of the Hunt store giving away anything people needed, even after their store flooded. So today, Lend a Hand just had to thank them. Open it up, boys. Let's go. Let's see what you got for us. 10,000 shelf-stable meals, $25,000 worth of merchandise. People all across the country supporting Kerr County in the wake of a tragedy that changed so many lives forever. Al Roker, NBC News.
Earlier this month, Camp Mystic announced plans to reopen next summer at their newer Cypress Lake location, which is completely independent from the older Guadalupe River camp, with new safety measures, including flood monitoring units. A North Carolina man is still waiting on Hurricane Helene debris to be removed from his property. The man was told months ago he was going to get help from a state program, but he says that crews have not returned to finish the job. Ryan Stockett reports on what went wrong and why the piles of debris are still sitting in the same spot months later.
Earlier this year, the property owner applied to have this waterway cleared out, as well as the debris pile behind me. Workers did come out and they said they'd be back, but now it's been months and this pile is still here.
They said that I was on a list and they were going to come out and clean this up. The people that cut it up said they're going to be back out in about 2 weeks, and I think that was about 8 months ago.
Weeks turn to months as Fairview resident Brian Rue waits for crews to return to his property and to clear out the piles of trees in his backyard. A crew was here earlier this year cutting up the debris, but have not been back to get rid of it.
There's stacks of trees everywhere around here. I was hoping that would have been cleared out, but you know, this is the important one to me that really needs to go, because there's no way for me to remove it.
This after Rue applied for both the private property debris removal program and the waterway debris removal program. The waterway going through his property is blocked by a pile of trees and a large landslide. We reached out to Buncombe County to find out why crews never returned, and a county official texted us back clarifying that it was actually the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers who managed the debris removal. We reached out to the Corps of Engineers for comment. They sent back a statement saying in part, under the specific mission scope provided to us by FEMA, debris affiliated with landslides is not eligible for USAID's direct federal assistance programs.
It would have been nice if they shared that with me. I had no idea of any of that at all. I still was expecting they were going to show up out here at some point, and they were just busy with all the other issues out here.
The statement also said in part, because we recognize the significant impact this has on the resident, we have shared this property's information with the NC Emergency Management Statewide Landslide Task Force to ensure the state recovery team is aware of their specific needs.
I'd just like to see this cleaned up, and really a lot of the areas out here get cleaned up that need it still.
Ryan Stockett, News 13.
Let's talk a little bit about the weather that has been impacting us for this Christmas week. This was a soggy Christmas for many in the Golden State. California has been pounded with severe storms for the past few days, and Wednesday was no better. California just couldn't catch a break after getting hit with an intense weekend storm that claimed at least one life. There was a level 4 of 4 high risk of flooding rain in place for Wednesday for Southern California, and that included the Los Angeles area. Governor Gavin Newsom mobilized state resources ahead of the storm, and Los Angeles County issued evacuation orders and warnings for areas in and around land that's weakened due to recent wildfires. Officials say on Wednesday and Thursday, parts of Southern California got at least a month's worth of rain. And heavy rain in Southern California caught some people completely off guard. And for one off-roader, it meant watching his Jeep get swept away by floodwaters. We're taking to Riverwood and Sunland areas where residents were weighing safety against putting up a fight and finding ways to ride out the storm together.
Gerardo Galvan says he was caught by surprise. He was off-roading in Tujunga when the water suddenly rose and he had to watch his Jeep wash away in floodwaters.
By that time, the water was way too high, so it was even dangerous for us to get out of the Jeep and try to hook up the Jeep. So, like last resort was just to abandon it and, save ourselves.
Heavy rain from the storm led LA County Public Works to conduct what they called a routine partial release of the Tujunga Dam, impacting the nearby Riverwood neighborhood. Galvan's car is now stuck until the water recedes.
I can tell you truthfully, I don't feel too bad because I'm alive. It's just material things. The Jeeps come and go. At the end of the day, the Jeep is just water. Water dries. I can just get it fixed.
Just a few miles down the road, this part of the neighborhood is also under an evacuation order, but it's not pushing many families to pack up and go.
I did see the alert about the evacuation, but I don't know. We've been pretty safe, I'd like to say, as far as flooding.
Were you worried at all?
No. Not really.
No, not really.
The weather, though, still impacting holiday plans.
We canceled Christmas, the whole family.
Really?
Because my mother was in the hospital and in the danger of the rains.
We were supposed to have family over.
Yeah. Family was supposed to come over for Christmas Eve.
Everyone kind of canceled, hey, the rain's bad.
We also discourage and we don't want them driving.
They say what they've done so far is the same thing they'll be doing for the rest of the storm. Ride it out, waiting for the skies to clear. In the meantime, enjoying the little moments that they can get this Christmas.
Stay home.
My son and my daughter-in-law and the baby are coming anytime.
And knowing they'll get another chance at meeting up with the family soon enough.
That's what we said. You know what? We got New Year's Eve coming up, so we'll see you guys there.
Hopefully weather's better by then, yeah.
After seeing the flooding in California, we head north where another community is dealing with the aftermath of rising water. In Washington state, floodwaters from the White River swept through an apartment complex just days before Christmas.
At Megan's Court Apartments, the contrast is stark. On the top floor, people are celebrating Christmas.
We woke up and opened some presents from Mom and Santa Claus.
But on the bottom floor, no one's home. Last week, the White River, located just feet away, flooded the complex, destroying everything.
It's very sad. Actually, just below us on the corner, my friend Carrie lives on the bottom floor, and she lost all of her stuff.
A gingerbread house remains on that neighbor's windowsill.
At this point, residents have salvaged what they could and tossed what they couldn't. The apartments have told a lot of these people, all living on the bottom floor, that their unit is going to be gutted and that it could be fixed in as early as a month, though a lot of people are skeptical of that.
I just screamed and woke everyone up.
We spoke with Carrie Weiss, who lives in one of those flooded bottom floor units. She's lived here for 6 years.
You were ready for Christmas. I was.
The moment my photographer and I walked in, the air was so damp our camera lens fogged up.
It smells like a swamp, and it's very soupy and moist and gross. And it smells.
Her apartment was filled with feet of water. Everything in here has to go.
This still has water in it.
In the other bottom floor apartments, it's the same situation. Soaked carpets, mildew and mold.
The bathroom got ruined.
When we asked Carrie about help,
I don't know, I haven't found it yet.
her insurance won't cover the damage. This apartment complex is in a flood zone. Now the message from many residents, both on the top and bottom floors, is clear.
Yeah, I plan to never live near a river ever again.
They're not re-signing their lease. In Pacific, Christian Balderas, King 5 News.
And on the East Coast, Christmas was a little different for people there. It was a Christmas miracle for skiers and riders in Vermont. Instead of curling up by the fire, plenty of people hit the slopes to soak in this freshly fallen powder. Reporter Claire Jones grabbed her gear and joined them for the snowy celebrations.
With the sun hidden by the swirling snow, skiers and riders at Bolton Valley take full advantage of nature's Christmas gift.
Solid turnout for sure. Parking lot's definitely filling up. So the cars, rolling up the hill real early and just continuing. And what a day.
Do you guys usually see that on Christmas?
It kind of depends on the snow. Snow really brings folks out.
And bring folks out, it did. From out-of-staters soaking in a true Vermont Christmas.
From a scale of 1 to 10, it's a 1 billion.
To Vermonters enjoying a day off.
We celebrated with family this morning, and they're up this way, so we might as well get a few runs in, too.
Many told me the powder was a dream.
It's windy at the top. A lot of snow, but the conditions on the ground are perfect. Perfect.
Hearing this, I couldn't help myself.
One ticket, please. You're all set. Thank you.
I swapped my work gear for ski gear and made my way up. And boy, they were not lying about that wind. It was so cold, my microphone battery died at the top. If you can't tell by my face, the wind and snow was oppressive. So much so, the main lift was put on a wind hold shortly after. Despite that, skiers and riders I spoke to say there's no other place they'd rather be.
What's better than skiing with your kids on Christmas?
Sounds like she had a fun winter assignment. A powerful winter storm dumped more than 9 inches of snow on parts of New England on Friday. De-icing operations were underway at Boston's Logan International Airport. By 10 Saturday morning, FlightAware was reporting 24 flights had been canceled and more than 80 delayed. The storm dumped more than 9 inches of snow on the town of New Fairfield in Connecticut. And another storm is headed to the region on Sunday and stretching into Monday. That one possibly bringing an icy mess. And in New York, the storm prompted about 7,600 flight delays and about 900 cancellations. New York City's major airports were among the hardest hit, with flights to John F. Kennedy International Airport delayed on average of about 2 hours Saturday morning. According to the Federal Aviation Administration, ground delays were also in place at LaGuardia and Newark Liberty International Airports until midday Saturday. This follows more than 8,500 delays and 1,700 cancellations on Friday. And to think we had record-breaking temperatures on Christmas Eve. Well, from floodwaters to the west to snow-covered streets in the northeast, this week was another reminder of just how powerful and unpredictable weather can be. Thanks for watching this week's weather recap. Stay prepared, take care of one another. I'm meteorologist Danielle Moss. Happy holidays, and I'll see you next year.